Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. We have the tropics to start with today. So, you might have heard that there's an area of tropical formation off the coast, off the first coast. And it's true, but it's a low chance of development. So, with a 0% chance of development over the next 2 days, if you're looking for your weekend plans, you're good to go. You just got to stay cool. You got to stay hydrated. It's going to be really hot. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, I do want to just give you this whole update on the tropics. So it is a 0% chance in the next 2 days and a low 20% chance of development within the next 7 days. So what's going to happen is an area of low pressure is going to form off of our coast. So it's going to happen early next week. Wait for it. Wait for it. There, you see that little area of circulation? It's trying to get its act together out there. So these thunderstorms, they're going to move off the coast of the Carolinas next week. And they're going to be over the warm Gulf Stream, the warm waters there. And you need warm water, obviously, for tropical development. So it's possible it could try to take on some tropical characteristics as it continues to drift out over the Gulf, and then it will kind of move to the west. So it will kind of come a little bit closer to our coast very slowly. But notice that this model really does not show it getting its act together. And that is the case with most models. It shows it not actually forming, which is great news. But again, there's warm enough water. There's lower shear by the coast. So the factors are there for the potential for some tropical development. And so the National Hurricane Center agrees with us. They're saying it's not impossible, but the chances of it happening look low right now. Again, 20% chance of tropical formation. Now, whether it develops or not, I do think our rip current risk is going to increase next week, especially by Wednesday. And that's a big thing to think about because it's that holiday weekend coming up. But as mentioned, I'm going to show you this model again because so many have 4th of July on the mind, rightfully so. So there's that area of low pressure out there in the Atlantic trying to spin, trying to have some circulation and some organization, but it really does not do well. So this is a look at Thursday, July 2nd. Notice as we speed up through Friday and into Saturday, July 4th, nothing out there. So what it's showing for us, that's your typical summertime forecast. Sea breeze, showers, and storms. Hot, humid, some showers and storms out there. Very typical of the 4th of July. So as of right now, it does not look like we'd have any tropical impacts on our Independence Day. Of course, it's something that we're going to watch super closely for you all. So, please check back in for updates. But as of right now, low chance of tropical formation. And this weekend, 0% chance. It's all about the heat. It is hot out there. Our high temperatures today warming on up. So as of 11 a.m., temperatures quickly soaring. We're getting through the 90s this afternoon, middle 90s for our highs. Heat index values closer to around 105 degrees. And this evening, look how warm it stays. I mean, we finally dropped down into the 80s later on in the evening, but the feels like temperatures stay in the 90s. So there's a jumbo shrimp game tonight. There's a lot of events happening. It will still feel quite hot out there even after the sun sets. And maybe you're heading out to the beach. Well, if you're going to go swimming to cool down, of course, I did it yesterday, but there's a moderate risk of rip currents. So please keep that in mind. Always swim near a lifeguard. And you will see here too that there's a 40% chance of rain. So yes, we do have rain chances in the forecast, but those rain chances are on the lower end, so you don't have to cancel any outdoor plans by any means. But I do want everyone to just be aware of the chance of those storms so you can move inside quickly if you hear thunder, because with the thunderstorms that have been developing recently, they're strengthening fairly quickly. And these today could become strong with strong gusty winds. So here's a look at our future radar. And you can see it's not a washout. Not everyone will see rain. Those who do see rain, it's not raining all day. It's just that if that thunderstorm pops up, it could be strong. So please move into shelter quickly. And so just some rain around for our Saturday. Same story on Sunday. Now, you might see the showers pop up first closer to the coast in the St. Johns River earlier in the afternoon and then push inland a bit later on in the evening. So kind of a different direction when it comes to how these storms are moving and how the showers are moving. But overall, rain chances are on the lower end, again, 30% give or take for our Sunday when it comes to rain coverage. So once again, it's all about the heat. We'll have a high temperature near 97 degrees. That is hotter than normal. Usually we're right around 91 for our average high temperature. You can see that there on the top corner of your screen. Usually 91. We're 95 today. We're 97 tomorrow. That means a heat index value up to around 107 degrees. And then Monday, okay, yeah, we pull back by 2 degrees for our high, but there's more moisture in the atmosphere that day. Rain chances are a lot higher on Monday, but with more moisture, more humidity, our heat index values actually continue to climb. So we go from 97 on Sunday to 95 on Monday, but check out these heat index values. We actually have a higher, feels like temperature on Monday of around 108. And once you reach 108 degrees, that is downright dangerous. We get heat advisories issued by the National Weather Service. So that is possible on Monday with it feels like temperature 108 to around 110 degrees. Dangerous heat in the forecast. This weekend, it's dangerous if you're not prepared or you have to spend extended periods of time outside this weekend without proper hydration and proper breaks in the shade and the AC. But Monday, it will be absolutely necessary with just how hot it could feel before the rain and storms arrive, because of course then rain and storms, that cools us down a bit. So we'll start with dangerous heat and then we'll end with the possibility of numerous showers and storms on Monday. So it's more likely for impact when it comes to the evening commute with the rain. So Monday, we might issue a weather impact alert for two reasons. First, starting off with the possibility of that dangerous heat, especially if there's a heat advisory issued, we're going with the weather impact alert. But the other reason is the rain coverage. 70% coverage of showers and storms. Numerous showers and storms means weather impact alert possible. So let's take a look at the 7-day forecast right now. Again, it's all about the heat this weekend. Yes, there will be some showers and storms around, and you have to move inside quickly if you hear thunder. But I move inside, I mean, if at all possible, whenever possible, just because of the heat. We want to escape all of this heat. So highs near 95 today, 97 tomorrow, but heat index values are on 105 to 107. Monday, 95, feeling more like 108 to 110 degrees, and then numerous showers and thunderstorms later on in the afternoon and evening hours. More rain will be around on Tuesday. Notice our highs are back down into the lower 90s that day, lower 90s on Wednesday, and then we're kind of drying out as we head towards the end of the week, so those temperatures will start to climb again. Of course, Saturday, not on the 7-day, but Saturday is the 4th of July. And when it comes to the end of the week forecast, we, of course, will have to take into account what that low pressure system does off of the coast. Again, low chance of formation, doesn't look like it would really impact us right now. But things could change because the ingredients are there, warm water, lower shear. So we'll watch that closely to see if it takes on any tropical characteristics and see if that impacts our forecast at all. But for now, it looks like it'd be drying out and be more of a typical summer-like day for the 4th of July here on the First Coast. But again, if you're waking up this morning, you're startled by the tropics, it's a low chance of tropical formation. That area of low pressure will form off our coast. It's really going to form off the Carolina coast. It's that front is kind of dropping down from the Carolinas, and that's on the end of it. That's where that low pressure area will form, and it will then drift to the west slowly and has a low 20% chance of formation over the next 7 days as it does so. So we'll continue to keep a close eye on that. But right now, no need to panic. Just know it's something we are watching, and we just want you to keep checking back in for updates, and we will let you know if it becomes more of a concern. All right, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at the weather around the country and around the world.
Live from the scene.
Let's get some breaking news we've been following overnight.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. First Coast News Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
So this past week, we've been watching summer weather extremes take place all over the country, really nationwide. So we had the dangerous heat that's gripping us here in the south. Severe storms were threatening the plains and the mid-Atlantic. And so we have a little package from Priscilla Thompson out of Houston with NBC, and she's going to give us a little wrap-up of all the crazy weather the country saw this past week.
Well, it is summer and it is hot. You have 19 million people who are under heat advisories and warnings across the country. Across the Gulf Coast, we are going to see these soaring temperatures and stifling humidity that is going to make it feel like it is in the triple digits here for a lot of folks. Meanwhile, you also have that heat out west, and it is the dry conditions and the heat that are fueling some of these wildfires that we are seeing in Utah. There are tens of thousands of acres burning right now as firefighters there are working to contain the blaze. And we're also seeing severe weather hitting various parts of the country. In Oklahoma, got 8 inches of rain in some areas yesterday. We saw these dramatic images of roadways that had flooded and water rescues that were taking place there. You also had hail that was pummeling parts of Colorado and North Texas, and that is expected to continue in some parts of Texas today. So really just a lot of weird, wild weather out there. The summer of extremes with the soaring heat and the severe weather. I will tell you, here in Houston, it is going to hit about 94 degrees today, but that is going to feel more like 103 degrees today. So we are talking about it being very hot, and our friends out in the Pacific Northwest are really going to be feeling this too, with temperatures there above average at 5 to 15 degrees above what is normal. Back to you.
All right, Priscilla, thank you so much. So we know that so many of us here are dealing with the heat, but we are not alone. Europe, I'm sure you've heard about this now, but Europe has been dealing with a heat wave that has been deadly over there. They don't have air conditioning in a lot of places. It's been awful, and it has been deadly. So this heat wave that has gripped Europe has prompted early closures of popular tourist attractions. And this is France, this is England, this is Spain, so many locations. And so NBC's reporter out of Paris is going to bring us an update on what's been happening so far this past week in Europe.
This morning, scorching temperatures are gripping much of Europe. From Paris to Madrid to London, locals and tourists are scrambling to stay cool, lining up for fans and turning to famous fountains to beat the heat. France suffering through its hottest day since records began in 1947, with one town on Tuesday hitting 112 degrees. The extreme heat here also turning deadly, with authorities saying at least 45 people have drowned just this past week. The heat wave forcing iconic Paris tourist attractions like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre to close early.
How would you describe the heat in Paris today?
Unbearably hot. It's just ridiculous.
In the UK, a rare red weather warning now coming into force, with hundreds of schools shutting and National Rail urging passengers to only travel if absolutely necessary. The extreme heat drawing global attention at a climate conference in London.
London isn't just calling, it's cooking.
Experts say human-driven climate change is making heat waves more frequent and more intense. And to make things worse, much of Europe isn't built for this kind of heat. Air conditioning is rare. Only about 20% of households have it.
I feel like all the buildings being made of stone, brick, it holds it in, radiates. It's not like New York where you've got newer buildings that are made to not hold this heat.
With temperatures still climbing, forecasters warning the worst is still ahead with little relief in sight.
Oh, I feel for all of them. So, I mean, this is a heavy part when we talk about all the weather all across the world, because we're dealing with the heat here, they're dealing with the heat there. It's been deadly in Europe, And now I'm going to transition to something else that has been horrible to see. So in Venezuela, there were two quakes that hit just 39 seconds apart. They were around 100 miles west of the capital of Venezuela. And the UK has sent a specialized search and rescue team to the disaster zone and promised around £2 million in aid, but there are concerns the relief won't reach the areas where it's needed most. So the port city of Katia Lamar in the port city of Katia Lamar. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. So it's been one of the worst hit areas. And so we do have a reporter, Martha Kellner, and she's going to give us an update out of that area.
First, the natural disaster. Now, the humanitarian crisis. Chaos in the hospitals, dismay on the streets. Belkis is looking for her nephew in the rubble. We need help, she says. We don't have water, light, anything. I don't have anyone. We are desperate. The official number of dead here rises by the minute, and it's not hard to see why. Survivors wait in long queues for food and gather aid supplies on the roadside. This is mainly people helping their neighbours. Police are searching a building where they think they've heard noises. And soon, some rare good news. From the wreckage, a joyful discovery.
Everyone is desperate for any slither of good news, and the fact that an animal has been found alive in here suggests that there is still the possibility of human beings being alive.
People are pointing over the road. A man has appeared in what used to be the window of his apartment. He refuses to come down. His family are still trapped inside, he says.
The rescuers have just come running out of the building because they say they felt an aftershock just now, and obviously this building is very, very uneasy at the moment.
This disaster is a test of the new relationship between the US and Venezuela. It's only been 6 months since former leader Nicolas Maduro was captured by US forces. Now the US exerts greater control over the country. Would they help in its time of need?
Donald Trump has pledged massive and unrelenting support for Venezuela. The US is sending $150 million worth of aid, they say. They're supposedly sending teams by air, specialised search teams on the ground too. But the question people here have is, where are they? Look at that. Jesus.
I spent most of the day in the worst affected area and didn't see a single international search team. I'm looking for my mother, this man says. He's digging with his bare hands and a crowbar. Countless bodies have been found here, where hundreds of apartments once stood. The misery is unrelenting. Andre can see his brother's body trapped in the rubble of this beachside apartment, but he has no tools to get him.
Everyone here is a volunteer.
Yes, it's volunteers, family and friends. It's too much pain to know that your family is in there, but you can't recover the body, at least to take him home. We can't do anything.
The wait for help is unbearable for people here. So much is being promised, but on the ground, it feels like so little is being delivered.
So this area of low pressure that's going to form off of the South Carolina coast, and it's that area of possible tropical development, just a 20% chance. It will likely increase our rip current risk by around Wednesday. And so I do have a package here about rip currents, and it's out of San Diego because a visit to San Diego for most people wouldn't be complete without a beach day. But lifeguards there have a warning. They say that they've had to rescue hundreds of people from rip currents in just this month, June alone. Dana Williams has more on that danger.
Surfers are breaking their boards, leashes are snapping. We've got people jumping in the water just for a quick dip, and they're getting sucked 200 yards out to sea, and they know how to swim, but the rip currents they have been so strong that they can't even fight it.
Marine Safety Lieutenant John Maher with San Diego Fire Rescue's Lifeguard Division has been at this for 26 years, but this year, he says he hasn't seen anything quite like it.
March, April, May, so we had record rescues, water rescues throughout the spring.
It happens. Even to swimmers who dive in feeling pretty good.
We get people that very rarely go in the ocean, and we get very experienced swimmers.
In the month of June alone, San Diego lifeguards have rescued 770 people in the water, and I bet you can guess what happened in the vast majority of those cases.
685 were in rip currents.
Yeah, we literally just arrived about an hour ago, but yes, the plan is beach. Yeah, yep. All day.
Maja and Abby came from Arizona to cool off for the weekend.
I like to draw a little, listen to audiobooks. Yeah.
Read for sure.
And I love to swim too. Yeah. Definitely, in the water.
Though, she admits, swimming isn't her strong suit.
Oh, it's kind of scary, like, you know, the idea that you can get pulled out by the rip current and whatnot.
Speaking of,
something about the colors, right? I don't know.
Does she know how to spot them?
They're like shaped like this. Yeah.
Okay, maybe needs some work. And when in doubt, you can always ask an expert.
But if you look down here in front of the rocks, you'll see a gap in the reef and the seaweed that is clear, sandy-looking water. That water is moving diagonally out and to the north.
So he says take a good look next time you head in the water for a swim, or better yet, just keep it simple.
I stay where I could touch, so that's it. Yeah.
Good to keep in mind as we approach the 4th of July as well. So people out at the beach. Also, that tropical system, any sort of development doesn't look like it would impact our 4th of July here. So that's great news. And also on our channel, we're going to be airing the Macy's 250th fireworks show. So let's get a preview of that.
These views are spectacular even under gray skies, but in just over a week, they'll light up for a celebration like no other. A skyline filled with fireworks as New York marks 2 major milestones.
It's a special one for Macy's, it's a special one for New York City, it's a special one for the nation, and we've brought our A game.
This year marks the 50th Macy's 4th of July Fireworks Spectacular, and it coincides with America's 250th birthday, making this year's show one for the history books.
This is an important week for us. This is where we put our final touches.
A few weeks ago, a dry run in the Mojave Desert, making sure everything is perfect.
So it's our opportunity to see all of our brand new effects in real life. We get to time them, understand the color patterns, and make sure that we're specifically dialing in all of the details.
This year, you are going to want to get a view of the skies over Lower Manhattan. So one of them right here on the Lower East River, and here in Brooklyn Bridge Park, going to be a perfect viewing spot. Here on the west side, there will also be barges in the Lower Hudson River. And for the first time, Macy's is working with Jersey City to make it a show for everyone.
You've got 27 minutes of nonstop action and beautiful art in the sky.
And the Brooklyn Bridge this year is a star in a whole new way. Get ready for a light show.
We've got a super dynamic laser and light show that's going to operate off of the Brooklyn Bridge. First time something like that's ever been done before here in New York City.
Mayor Mamdani announced a digital lottery open until June 29th for people to enter for the chance to get tickets to these 4 viewing areas.
We're going to be at home. We have a beautiful view of the river.
But some people already have their plans.
We're going to be going to another friend's rooftop in Hudson Yards. Oh my God, I truly don't know. I'm so excited. I just feel like it's going to be so much color, so many lights, and I'm just excited. I truly blank slate. Let's see what it looks like.
Oh, so much fun to be had. So that's awesome. Now let's get one last look before we go on the tropics. Again, 0% chance of formation over the next 2 days, 20% chance over the next 7 days. So we're going to watch a low pressure area form offshore early next week. And so you see that little area of rotation out there in the Atlantic? It's going to try to spin. It could potentially grab some tropical characteristics, but models show it really struggling to organize. So that is good. Again, low chance of formation. For us, 4th of July, looking more of like a typical summer-like day. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. This weekend, it's all about the heat. Dangerous heat possible with a feels like temperature 105 to 107. By Monday, it could feel like 108 degrees, and then a lot more rain will arrive later on in the day on Monday. So we might issue a weather impact alert for Monday. So please stay tuned for information on that. Thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday. I hope you all have a wonderful and safe weekend.